educating investors.
The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, looking good, Billy Ray, feeling good, Lewis. Let's answer the first question that they have asked me the most over the past 12 hours. Is this a major top? I have no idea. All I know is a couple of things have happened today that I think are relatively important to discuss. The first thing I posted here was what happened when we had a major correction going back in 2019. If you remember, in January, we had the big break there. You'll see that it broke very, very hard. We completed the ABCD pattern. These patterns are the same. You know, these topping patterns, nothing mysterious about those. But the main thing is it's got to be, this is a second day down. This doesn't mean anything. And I'll show you why in just a second. Heck, the market could reverse and actually close higher today without any trouble at all. But let's look at something here that is relatively important. If we see what's happening here today, you'll see had a nice break. That was not unexpected. If you'll remember yesterday in the den, we had Maria come up and talk to us about the importance of that 43.25 level. So let's try that again, 42.35 level. The high was 42.37. We came almost down to the exact 38% retracement, folks. That we did that over the last month. We almost made a 38% retracement of the whole month. Now, that's the S&P 500. All we did is we went out and we took the lows of the month out, and that's why we had the rally. I mean, if people have buy orders sitting in here, why not? It's been a bull market. So that's what we're watching here, is because you want to see the quality of this rally and see where it closes today. But something even more important happened. If you remember yesterday, I posted this chart. I posted it to start the whole week. This was the NASDAQ. You'll notice that it topped back here on the 12th of April when we had the ABCD pattern. We made the double top up in there. Then we went sideways until the 28th, which was that super full moon day, if you remember. Now, this one worked on the super full moon, but the others didn't. I don't know the answer to why that happens. All I know is that if you look at that ABCD pattern, you see the low of the day there at that 50% retracement. The low of today was 4,100, folks. That's the exact low. And if you went back and believe in some of these patterns that we look at, we'll bring one of these up here. We'll just take a look here at the here is the NASDAQ. We're going to draw this up here. Now, this is a daily chart, and you'll see the low came in at 30.68, and the 50% retracement came in at 30.88, so 13.88. So that's a very, very important bottom. We go below that, and we've already rallied 300 points. I mean, that's telling us, turnaround Tuesday, Marshall. That's most probably what it's going to be. That would be my guess. So anyway, that's what we're watching here. This is just a big 2-day correction. But one of the advantages of being in the Tiger Den was typical of yesterday. I mean, look at the trades that some of the folks were posting in there. Maria's post early in the morning at that 42.35 level, I think, was totally amazing. And then it rolled over towards the end of the day. There were other trades about the grains and stuff like that. And the soybean market exploded to the upside today. I read another 30 cents going a lot higher. So these are some of the things that you have working for you when you belong to the Tiger Den. So if you're at home and you don't have any help, just go into the Tiger Den for a while, and you'll see some really smart people in there that post some really great stuff. And when they're wrong, they certainly come back and tell us that that's the main thing that you're watching here. Our guest today will be Dr. David Paul, a very, very informative man that I know quite well from VectorVest. He's over in the UK. He'll be our guest at the half hour, which will be good. Now, remember, we spoke yesterday. I do not have the Apple chart today because we gapped down below that key level at that we talked about yesterday at 126. We were trading at 123 earlier today, but it looks like Apple is on its way to the 119 level. Folks, the close today is going to be extremely important. And the reason it's going to be extremely important is because you're looking at a market that has the potential, and I say here potential because that's all it means, of really breaking a lot. And the reason why I said that was what I said yesterday. I've never seen so many bearish patterns across the board. The only one I said, the two that looked pretty good were copper and soybeans. And soybeans exploded to the upside. And of course, copper has had a pretty good run too. But we'll talk about copper in just a second. But of all the others that I looked at, every single one of them said that there was probability of a pretty significant correction. A lumber, but haven't traded lumber. I've never traded lumber in 66 or 67. That's the last time I ever traded. And as I remember, it was a break-even trade. I just didn't like the feel of it, and so far it's never bothered me very much. So those are the few of the things. Now remember, when I posted that thing about the NASDAQ up here, I want to also show you here. This is what happens when you follow the stuff that we've done in the Floor Traders Handbook. You'll see that little purple arrow down there. That was 2 standard deviations down from the high. 1 standard deviation is danger. 2 standard deviations is really something. Folks, you see that little purple arrow there at 13,000, just a little below 13,086. If we close below that, this is going to make the newspapers. I'm not going to use the C word, but if we close below that, that's going to bring fear into the market that we haven't seen since 2019 that I posted that chart there. So that's why it's so very, very important. So remind yourself that that's why you're here, and why you've got to be able to see that you don't want to get involved with these things unless they work in your favor. But they've started to do what we thought they might do. But again, all it is was just a pattern, and that's all it was. 3 people asked me last night on emails, how did I know there was a market? I did not know it. All I did know is I've seen these patterns before, and by golly, they work today. Now, tomorrow they might not work. You don't know. We've had a pretty good run here in some of these things today, and they went down to levels that they should have stopped, so that's a good thing to look at. Remember, one of the things that we were really focusing on yesterday was that dollar index. Everybody was talking about the fact that, it was down and broke 90. Well, it broke 90 by a hair's breadth, and that hair is still alive because it's held up relatively well. And so that's what the patterns are for, folks. They're for telling you what the risk is to get into this trade. That's what it is. It has predictive value within limits, but the real value of the pattern is the money management part, the risk factor. Because when they go beyond 1.618 levels, boy, you just don't want to get involved in it. And that's why that was so important yesterday on that Monday, and with all that bullish news. Supposedly, well, it was actually bearish news where the market interpreted it as bullish, which those people that did that are now from 4204 are certainly not wanting to do that. But if this is what you're watching here, you've got to be able to say to yourself, maybe something changed. And that's what we're watching here, is to see if something's changed. Today is very important. It's also known as Turnaround Tuesday. But the fact that we've rallied just about 300 points in the NASDAQ is pretty good. We'll be right back. Any questions? 877-927-6648.
Markets can rise and fall like the tides. Subscribe to Basil Chapman's newsletter, The Opening Call, and you too can ride the wave. Basil Chapman is an authority in technical analysis. His Chapman Wave trading system has been helping traders identify trends and capitalize on momentum in the markets since 1984. TFNN invites you to test Basil's proprietary Chapman Wave trading methodology with a monthly subscription to the Opening Call newsletter for only $149. Your subscription to the Opening Call comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee, as well as daily market updates on key indexes, stocks, and commodities. Ride the wave. Sign up for the Opening Call risk-free today.
If you're not currently using the TAS Profile Scanner when looking at setting up your trading opportunities, then your arsenal is short a mighty weapon. The TAS Profile Scanner is a standalone piece of software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, TAS understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. You also gain access to the webinar that Steve Dahl and Tom O'Brien just hosted, The Best Way to Use the TAS Profile Scanner to Profit. This webinar archive is available for all subscribers immediately upon signing up. All new subscriptions also come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Start your subscription by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the TAS Profile Scanner under the Services tab. Sign up today.
Hey there, I'm Andy Arbertine with Tiger Precious Metals and Stones. Whether you're looking to buy and sell precious metals or trying to find the perfect diamond ring, I'm here to help. I have over 15 years of experience with diamonds and precious metals. You can call me directly at 727-329-8245, and I will personally answer any questions you have and help you find exactly what you're looking for. I will be your personal concierge in the metal and stone business. Give me a call today, 727-329-8245.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Okay, folks, I wanted to bring up the chart of Apple because I've been trying to bring it up, and for some reason it just doesn't want to pop up. But we opened at 123. That was down quite a bit, and we rallied up to 125. It's important that Apple, if this market's going to be bullish for Apple, to get back above that 127 level. But any move below 123 will take that much lower, would be the way I would be thinking that it might do that. So I'm not sure whether we're able to do it. Give me 1 second here because I want to get this Apple chart up. I'm going to have to do it a little bit differently than I usually do, but to me it's that important because it's the number one stock that people are looking at. It's been following very closely what we've been watching here. Now I'm going to try it a different way. So here we go. Here is Apple. Folks, Apple's at 128.30. That's very good now because if Apple gets at 128.30, that's a very important spot because it reinforces that support at 127. We made the 127 this morning at 123, and the 1.618 is down at 119. But the fact that Apple got to 128 is very important because of two reasons. One, the 5-point rally off that bottom matches the 5-point rally we had between the 4th and the 7th. So that's going to be a very, very interesting spot to watch how these markets, unfold. So I think it's important to remind ourselves that, and it'll make it a little bit easier as we look at these things to watch out. What's important, yeah. Thanks a lot, Dan. Okay, it actually is 125.6. Did it get to 128.30? Did Apple get to 128.30 at one time today? Because then I know my data's delayed with the stocks because I don't trade. The reason why I'm putting stocks in here, folks, is because you got a lot of people in here that trade stocks, and the patterns that are the same here on the stocks are the same patterns that we have here. What's important when you look at this pattern in Apple is look at that little gray Gartley at the 382. Folks, if these markets are bearish, they're only going to rally to 382. They're not going to do any more than that. So remind yourself that's what you're looking at as you're watching these things. I know I got some nice comments yesterday about the market and things that we're watching at, but all I'm trying to do is to send these things out to you, to get them to you as quick as possible. And believe me, I am working hard to try to get them to a way so that you can instantaneously get those. I'm thinking of maybe moving to Telegram with a private room in Telegram for all the 24/7 people, because we can send these out. I mean, it's just amazing. Now I've got notes here to say today. I've got to get to the most important thing of the day, folks, and that is Dr. Copper. I know copper is strong today, but let me tell you something, folks. This is all short covering. 3 days in a row, Thursday, Friday, and Monday, and I don't know about today, Thursday, Friday, and Monday, we had big drops in open interest in copper as it was rallying. Folks, that is not bullish. We've been through this before so many times. It's the same dance. The girl's just wearing a different dress. So be very, very careful of being long copper up in here. I know it's been going straight up, but there's certain signs now that the market is weakening. And that major sign is that we've got open interest is dropping as prices go higher. There's only one way that can happen, and that's because shorts are leaving the market. And that means the market is vulnerable to a move to the downside, and that's the whole thing. Now, we had a big increase in S&P yesterday to the downside. That was on a down day, so that tells you that there's some changes going on over there also. But the main one today is to watch that pattern that's going on in the going on in the copper. Very, very important. The high on copper, I believe, has been 487, just shy of $5 a pound. I think the last I saw, copper was trading at around 474, 475. But watch it, folks, because it's going to be really interesting to come in here. Folks, I am not saying there's going to be a crash. I don't. If you play your life waiting for a crash, you get to trade about one time every decade, or even less than that, and that's not what it's all about. What you're looking about is to manage your risk. Now, we might be able to see this and get lucky. We know what to look for. Whether we see this or not, and whether it's going to unfold or not, then that tells us of what we're watching. So that's the main thing. So let's remind ourselves that this is what we're here for. Now, another market that is just absolutely doing really wild things, and that is the gold market here. Let's take a look at this. This is from our good friend over in the Valley of the Sun over in Las Vegas. I love this chart because it shows the volume characteristics, and the high we made up here at the 1846 has so been the high. The 61% retracement on this, the exact 61% retracement is 1851. So that's the number I'm watching in the gold market. The reason why it's important is a 61% retracement off the high of January 23rd. And that's why we want to be watching it very, very closely. And what's interesting about January 23rd is the high made in gold in January of 1980 was on January the 20th. Gold hit $865 an ounce and then went down for 20-some years, all the way down to $230 an ounce when Tom O'Brien became very, very bullish. As I remember, it's when I first met the dude, and I always buy gold. But anyway, that was neither here nor there. Now, look at that gold pattern really closely, folks. It has two characteristics that's really important. One is the high that we made there in January was a 61% retracement of the high we made at 2065. Okay, one thing that makes it a 1-3-5 pattern with perfect symmetry. Another 1 is at the high, 3 is at the 0.618 retracement, and the 5 is at the 61% retracement of 0.3. That's what it's all about. That's not Elliott wave. That's just simple, retracement and numbers. That's all it is. I do not count the waves. Those little tiny subwaves drive me nuts. When we had the trading room there in Pismo Beach, Bob Miner would be there, Bryce Gilmore would be there, and that other dude, I can't remember his name, wrote a couple of books about, it wasn't any of the Prechter people, but they would argue about it, whether it was a 2 or a 4 or a 3, and I would be in there trading it because all I knew was that I didn't have to risk anything more than $200 or whatever I was looking at. And that's why it was so So very, very important. So those are just a few of the things that we're watching here. So that pretty good. We'll be able to watch that. All right. Let's just move up. Let's just be watching here very, very closely here at some of these markets. David Paul is going to be our guest coming up. I'm sure he's going to have some really interesting things because he does a tremendous job of following the program with VectorVest and following the trend. And he's an incredibly great speaker. If you ever get a chance to listen to him for a half a day or a day like I've been able to over the years, it's really quite informative. And he, of course, was one of Tom Hugard's mentors, and that's what made everything so very, very interesting to watch how things are going on. I wanted to bring this last chart up about the SMH because we had talked about it yesterday. It is still heading lower. It's been one of the key things to tell us that, yes, there could be a possibility of the market rolling over along with the FANG stocks. If you remember the FANG stock, all acting badly. We'll be right back. 877-927-6648.
Hi folks, this is Tom O'Brien. The printing presses are working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The U.S. deficit has risen 200% in 1 year with no end in sight. The markets are looking for an additional stimulus bill to get us through this once-in-a-generation pandemic. There is no free lunch, folks. The more stimulus dollars put into the marketplace, the less your dollar is worth each and every day. This is the time to protect yourself with a portion of your portfolio in the metal market. The Gold Report comes out each Monday morning. I bisect and dissect the dollar, silver, gold, the XAU, and the HUI. The Gold Report is a long-term hedge against the dilution of your buying power. The U.S. has put more than $6 trillion into the marketplace in the last 6 months, with more expected in the next few months. The market did and does need the stimulus, but it will have long-term implications on our buying power. The Gold Report comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Go to TFNN.com and order the Gold Report now. Protect your buying power. Order the Gold Report now.
You could be making money off the stock market. And if you're already making money off the stock market, you could be making a lot more. Check out TFNN and Tiger TV and get expert investing advice to give you the power to control your financial future. Go to TFNN.com and find the newsletter for you. Whether you're into trading gold, metals, futures, currencies, or options, you'll get advice and analysis to help you seriously get ahead. TFNN also features trading services with a 30-day money-back guarantee for new subscribers, as well as TFNN's Tiger Den trading room, trading software, and educational webinars for all trading levels. And make sure you check out Tiger TV for free on TFNN.com or TFNN's YouTube channel for live financial content from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern on market days. Stop watching on the sidelines while other people get rich and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks, and I believe we have David Paul of VectorVest on the line today. David, how are you?
Hello, Larry. How are you doing, sir? Can
I'm
you hear
good.
me
David,
all right?
I have had so many requests to have you as a regular guest. Is there any chance that I could schedule you for, say, the end of this month, maybe on, let's say, the 28th? Would you be able to come on that day, do you think, if you're not busy?
That's a Friday. Friday the 28th?
Yes,
By
sir.
all means. Yeah, by all means, yeah.
We got so many requests to have you on, and I know the last two times I was not able to connect correctly, and by golly, I wanted to make sure that we get you up because you've got some wonderful stuff. Why don't you continue and show us what you're looking at today, David? Oh, by the way, how are you liking this volatility?
Oh, it's lovely. I've lost all the hair that I can lose, so it's not the end of the world, you know. So we had it very easy last year. All of the moves, certainly on the American stock market that I took last year, they just kept on going, and it probably certainly spoilt me a little bit because it was relatively easy. It's rarely like that. As you know, they tend to break and then go back 3 or 4 times to see whether you've got what it takes before moving. Last year they just went. So I wish I hope I'm not going to disappoint your listeners, Larry, because I do something that's very simple, and I do my best to adhere to that simple little plan. The simple little plan is not about being right a lot, although, it's lovely to be right. It's all about when you are right, to become as optimistic as you can and to let that position run and to add to that position. And when you're wrong, to become pessimistic very quickly. Now, it is my experience, both being aware of my own thoughts and speaking to dozens of retail clients over the last 30 or 40 years, that most people are wired to do exactly the opposite. When they have a winner, they become pessimistic. They become pessimistic that the market's going to snap away their profits, and thus they are risking $1 to make 10 cents. They get out far, far too quickly. When the position goes against them, they automatically become optimistic. They become optimistic that the darn thing is going to turn. And we've all said it. Give it another tick. Give it another day. And before you know it, you've got the mother of all losses. So try to do something relatively simple and try and do it well. And I'm starting with, I hope you can see that chart, Larry.
I believe we can. They've got it posted in the room, as I recall. Let's just double check here.
Good. That's good. Yeah. Well, that's the VectorVest composite of the U.S. market, and I think, and I speak under correction, it's the widest measure of the American market that I personally know of. Some 8,000 or 9,000 shares make up the VectorVest composite. And Bart DeLito, who's the founder of VectorVest, he reckons that gives a much broader and better measure of the sentiment of the market than any of the single indices. And the green line down below is the VectorVest proprietary buy-sell ratio, which is the number of shares on a buy divided by the number of shares on a sell, which is the proprietary measure of breadth. Now, as you can see, we had this market moving up strongly and the breadth moving up, but since March, we made a double top, and the breadth, in fact, couldn't get anywhere near that. And recently, we've been creeping up, and the breadth is, in fact, virtually zero, or virtually it's less than 1 now. So the sell-off that we've seen, the strength of the selling over the last couple of days, in fact, has been quite amazing from the off yesterday afternoon. I expected the S&P to make it up to about 4,277 before that level of selling came in. So the inflationary inflation certainly in everybody's mind now. As you can see, the the S&P, I looked a couple of minutes ago, was sitting on that 4120 level, and clearly if that 4120 level goes, there's a great deal of fresh air down there. So I've been advising VectorVest customers on both sides of the pond that this is the time to be strong on stop loss levels if they're holding long positions. A great deal of air under it. But here's what I do, and it's based on Richard Wyckoff. I'm a great fan of Richard Wyckoff.
So am I. I am too.
It was the first course that I bought. And I think, Larry, you told me that Wyckoff and Gartley, in fact, knew each other.
They were friends, yes. They were good friends, as a matter of fact.
Okay. Well, there's a great deal of similarity in the so-called Wyckoff spring and the Gartley 222 pattern. It's a three-wave pullback. There is, in the Wyckoff, it's quite simple. You get resistance. There's a couple of resistance. It comes back once and then bounces. Shouldn't make a new high. And then it comes down and runs the stops underneath these lows, and then it turns. And when it goes off, it springs. That's why it's called a spring. And the mirror image of that, of course, is the upthrust. There was a little upthrust on the 30-minute chart of the overnight Dow, overnight S&P. It happened too early for me this morning in the UK market. I didn't get it. But that's the spring setup, and that's what I've been using on the stock market. Now, there's some good ones and some bad ones. This is an American stock called Horton, and it's one of the biggest builders in the US and Canada, I believe. It found resistance here. It came back once, goes up, and it shouldn't have made a new high, but it didn't close above the high. So it comes down and rises up again, and then comes down and takes out that low and then reverses very strongly. Now, Wyckoff is a big volume man, and that turnaround, in fact, happened on really, really strong volume. I haven't put it in there, and that's my entry point there. Stop loss was underneath there, and I was only taking the risk associated with one bar. Now, that's the easy bit. Is it going to work? I hadn't got a clue, but it's starting to move up, and I wish I could say, Larry, that I added intelligently. Sometimes when I add, it's fairly agricultural, but I added here, and I added there again, sweated that out a little bit, and added there again. That's a lovely pattern, an outside day, an inside day and an outside day. I call that a pop gun, really strong pattern. And so I've added to that on the way up. And by adding to that, I'm still holding this. I have now a risk-to-reward ratio built in of about 8-1.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And so that's what I'm trying to do.
This is great stuff. This is great stuff. Can you stay with us for the next segment, David?
Yeah, I'm here, Larry.
Thank you very much. David Paul from the UK, folks. We'll be right back with comments from VestorVest. We'll be right back. 877-927-6648.
Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
We're talking with David Paul from VectorVest over in the UK. And David, as you know, John Hill, 95 years old and still going strong, has been my mentor for, well over 40 years. And one of his things was an upthrust reversal and a coil. And what you've described there with Wyckoff, and I actually learned that stuff right out of the Wyckoff book that John had on his desk there. And then, of course, he put it in his book, Commodity Trend Analysis. So it really does work. And what's really interesting, there's this couple of small ABCD patterns in there that tell you to get ready for the setup. In other words, you just have to have the patience to wait for it. Is that pretty much what you look for?
Well, I got the setup from Wyckoff's book as well. In fact, I bought Wyckoff's original course. That was way back in the mid-1980s. And out of Wyckoff's stuff is not easy. Out of Wyckoff's stuff, I took the spring and the upthrust. I've been trading it pretty much ever since. I think that the Wyckoff stuff, putting together price and volume, is particularly useful in the stock market, and I also use it in short-term futures trading, where I always have a volume feed, even down to the 5-minute chart of the E-mini, for example. Volume's not easy. Sometimes you can see it. I haven't found an indicator yet that does it any justice, and I actually look at it on a bar-by-bar basis, I find that quite useful. The name of the game, nobody has a clue what's going to happen on a trade-by-trade basis. I want to try and risk 1% of my account. And if the trade goes my way, I'm not saying forget about a profit target, but I want to try and add to that. I want to be trying to be about 3 times as big when I'm right as I am when I'm wrong. Sometimes that takes a bit of doing. In some of the courses that I do, I call that strength testicular fortitude. It takes a great deal of strength to add 2 positions, but very difficult to beat it if you are the same size when you're right as you are when you're wrong. My word, your analysis needs to be good, and the volatility of the last day or two wouldn't have helped. VectorVest helps because I've never worked on Wall Street, but I've worked in the City of London. I've worked on the floors in Johannesburg, and I know the traders have got a list of shares with good fundamentals that the big fella in the corner office allows them to trade. And Horton's has got impeccable fundamentals on Vector Vest. Earnings per share growing strongly. That's the blue line. And the green line is Dr. DeLito's valuation. And it's a share that's undervalued, growing earnings strongly, and the technical position is in a strong trend. So we've got the best of both worlds. VectorVest is trying to be the best of both worlds, the best of fundamental analysis weaved with the best of technical analysis. So that's the objective of the exercise. This is Nucor. Nucor came out of one of our watch lists. There's a watch list on VectorVest called Midas Touch, which finds shares that are trending strongly. And as it broke up here, you can see this rising volume, and then as the market pulled back, the volume dried up completely, and that's always a good sign. And it went down, ran the stops underneath that low. I was in a bit late because I felt, Laurie, it was going to go back to that old top. I had an order, in fact, in at that old top, but it didn't get there, and managed to get in here somewhere. And then it sprung, and that's what springs are all about. I'm still holding that, and I've added to it 2 or 3 times, not that intelligently, as it broke up through these highs. So that's what I'm trying to do. Down there, I hadn't got a clue what was going to happen next on a trade-by-trade basis. All I know is that if I have a trend, if I have a Wyckoff spring set up, especially as it consolidates on falling volume, then 70 or 80% of the time, I've got a winning trade in my hands. And the trick of the exercise is to sit and wait for the damn things, and that's not easy. Doing nothing is much more difficult than it would seem.
Hey, we have a question for one of our listeners. In fact, it's early in the morning for you over there when we're in the early morning here. It's mid morning for you. Are you getting up earlier to catch some of the overnight stuff coming out of Asia, or?
No, I'm not that hungry anymore. If there's something in the morning when I'm reasonably. I go to the gym in the morning first thing at 6:30 UK time, and I get back from the gym at about 8:15, 8:30. The London stock market at that stage is running for half an hour. If there's something interesting, then I'll have a go at it. But I don't. I'm up at 6, and that gym is very important to me. I don't trade well unless I've been to the gym. So most of my decisions I make in the afternoon when the American market opens.
Does your gym serve bacon and eggs and hash browns like my gym does?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Okay. I thought you maybe had a little cafe there that like mine does.
It doesn't do anything at the moment because of
folks. This guy's the most physically fit 60-year-old you ever want to meet. He can do one-hand push-ups. Yeah, I know. 66. I had to give you a 10% discount, pal. He does one-hand push-ups with both hands, and sometimes with a young girl on his back. So he's a well-fit young fellow, that's for sure. Hey, listen, I want to thank you for being on our show, and you're going to be on the 28th of May at the same time and hopefully the same place. Would you do that for us?
With pleasure. Okay.
Hey, how do the folks reach you if they're interested in the Vector Vest? What would be the best way?
David.Paul@vectorvest.com will find me.
Okay, that's super. Thank you very much. And give my regards to Mr. Hugard. I chatted with him this morning, and of course he's up on all nights now, so he's loving this volatility, which we're going to see more and more of. I think it's just beginning to really scare some of these people that have not seen wild markets, and this might be one of them, but we don't know.
Yeah,
Thanks for joining us, David. I really, really appreciate it. We'll see you on the 28th of May.
Cheers, man. Bye.
You bet. Okay, folks, I would like to bring to your attention to one thing, and those of you that like the patterns here, I want to get this up here. If you like Gartley's patterns and you're looking for an entry pattern on these things, if you'll take a look at this, you can see those little spring reversals and up thrust reversals. That's how I learned these from John Hill. And John was a big believer in Wyckoff, and I was focusing on the ABCDs because you can see the ABCs all through there. That's what the basis of what we look at, being pattern recognition swing traders, is to watch that. So those are the things that I'm looking at. And now when we have a down market, what we're trying to pay attention to is to follow these spring reversals on a smaller time frame, like 15 or 30 minute, because now if you're trying to trade a daily chart on these, the risk reward on some of these things is going to be the risk is going to be pretty high because you're getting range. I mean, we had a 1,000-point range between down and up in the Dow Jones already today. 877-927-6648.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
Markets can rise and fall like the tides. Subscribe to Basil Chapman's newsletter, The Opening Call, and you too can ride the wave. Basil Chapman is an authority in technical analysis. His Chapman Wave trading system has been helping traders identify trends and capitalize on momentum in the markets since 1984. TFNN invites you to test Basil's proprietary Chapman Wave trading methodology with a monthly subscription to the Opening Call newsletter for only $149. Your subscription to the Opening Call comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee, as well as daily market updates on key indexes, stocks, and commodities. Ride the wave! Sign up for the Opening Call risk-free today.
Introducing Primal Edge.
Today, it's even more important to take a supplement that complements your health. Primal Edge is specifically formulated to boost your immune system and help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Our early ancestors found all their nutritional requirements in the wild environment. But today, our food sources don't contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that we need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based, vitamins, minerals, fatty and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated humic and fulvic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They've been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, without them, life cannot exist.
That's right, Ellen. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge. Just $89 exclusively at TFNN.com.
Hi, folks. This is Steve Rhodes. Stay tuned for another great hour of the Trader's Edge, heard here at TFNN.com.
Okay, folks, I posted a chart of the New York Stock Exchange Index and the action that happened on Friday. You'll see that the market popped up there. And now, of course, with the action today and yesterday, the market has reversed back and has validated the 1.618 number again. And with the gap down today, that may or may not be ominous. I really don't know. But if we close badly today and we close below 13,100 in the NASDAQ, that is going to be extremely bearish. And the reason why I say that is, folks, is there's a lot of people out there from Robinhood and Little John and Maid Marian that have never been in a bear market, and they're not going to understand that value doesn't always come to the forefront. So I learned my lesson the hard way. So try not to learn that lesson. It'd be very, very important to know that. The other thing is to watch the copper. We've had a 61% retracement breaking from the high. And I think that's another one that's important. If we get above 485 again. Oh, no, the Palo Verdes are attacking me, boys and girls. Send in the sheriff. Anyway, we'll be back with you tomorrow, and we have Stan Harley, the Harley Stock Market Letter, will be our guest. And, of course, another fun guest will be John Person on Thursday. And I will not be here on Friday, but we're going to have good shows on Wednesday and Thursday for you, which is good. And then next week, the following week, we're going to have Tim Bost on the 25th, of course, and Norm Winsky on the 21st. So that's another thing that's going to be very interesting to look at. So live every day in an attitude of gratitude, and may God bless. And I know I'm close to the end of the show, but by golly, folks, I'm getting ready to sneeze about 25 times. So live every day in an attitude of gratitude, and may God bless.